afternoon. I'm here to present a rare case of Medusa head in the eye, unraveling the enigma. Now, a Medusa head in the eye, what can be the line of thought? Maybe a phacomatosis or an angioma, or maybe some peripheral vascular tumor arising in the retina, or maybe some systemic features of hypertension or AV malformations. Well, in our case, it was a case of von Hippel-Lindau syndrome, which presents to us with hemangioblastomas, increased risk of renal cell cancer, pheochromocytoma, pancreatic lesions, eye lesions, endolymphatic sac tumors, liver and renal cysts. It generally manifests within the third to fourth decade of life, while the mean age of onset of retinal hemangioblastoma, which is one of the first manifestations, is around 26 years. My patient was a 23-year-old male belonging to a rural background who presented to us with gradual onset dimness of vision in the right eye for last 2 to 3 years with occasional floaters which were not associated with any pain, and there were no aggravating or relieving factors or history of previous trauma or fever. The left eye was blind since birth, and there was no medical consultation done for the same previously with a discoloration of the overlying skin. Family and personal history yielded nothing significant. Vital parameters for the patient were normal. Now, coming to the ocular examination of this patient, the visual acuity in the right eye was 6/60 with round regular reactive pupils and extraocular movements full and free in all directions. The left eye was a blind eye with an eye positioned downwards and outwards in primary gaze. On anterior segment evaluation, the right eye had a normal anterior segment with a golden yellow fundal glow, while the left eye showed conjunctivalized cornea with posterior synechia and complicated cataract. The dilated fundoscopy for this patient showed dilated tortuous vessels around the disc with diffuse macular exudation extending up to the periphery, and the superotemporal arcade branch acted as a feeder to peripheral lesions that were 2 in number, about 2 into 3 millimeters in size. So this is our fundus picture that emulates the Medusa head, and these are the peripheral lesions that were visible on dilated fundoscopy. So the investigations done, they showed 3-OCT macula showed diffuse macular exudates with cystoid macular edema, and fluorescent angiography showed hyperfluorescence with a filling of lesions during capillary phase and early leakage. Here it has been shown. And these are the differential diagnoses that were considered. The patient went up for an injection anti-VEGF dose along with guided cryotherapy around the peripheral tumors. The blood investigations yielded nothing significant, and the systemic investigations showed bilateral renal cortical cysts, even though the other systemic investigations were normal. On further discussion, a family history of probable early death due to CVA in a parent was known. The final diagnosis was right eye retinal capillary hemangioblastomas in a case of VHL syndrome associated with renal involvement. And after 2 weeks after follow-up, we saw that the vascularity in the tumors had reduced even though macular edema was resistant to treatment. Because it is the only seeing eye, the patient has been kept under close follow-up and will be taken up for EBRT or plaque brachytherapy if the need arises. He may also undergo a trial of belzutifan. Now, these cases require a plethora of investigations because the appearances of such cases are deceptive, and systemic evaluation along with pedigree analysis and screening of family members is a must in such cases. This is my take-home message and my acknowledgements and references.
Dr. Arhan, why did you discourage VR surgery in this particular case? It will be a lovely case to operate with a good result. Why you did not offer VR surgery to this case?
Sir, the patient is slightly apprehensive because this is the only one seeing eye.
And even more so the reason that if you are going to wait, these lesions are not going to go, and they respond wonderfully to VR surgery. So probably that is one thing which I will like to try before subjecting the patient to EBRT. You are going ahead with an EBRT procedure in a one-eyed patient will not be
we
justified.
We consulted the oncologists. They said to keep under close follow-up. If the need arises, we will go for it. Other than that,
Dr. Pankaj, you are ready with your presentation?